want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Hey, it's Jimmy O here from Joe Blow, and here is my take on The Batman. Yes, I am Vengeance. Now, it's clear from the beginning that Matt Reeves' The Batman is something completely different from what we've seen before. The filmmaker's take on the Caped Crusader also happens to be spectacular. A tale that twists and turns until the final and sublimely haunting end comes to pass. The new feature, starring Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne / Batman, Zoe Kravitz as Selina Kyle / Catwoman, and Paul Dano as Edward Nashton / the Riddler, is a beautifully realized neo-noir. It's a story that places just as much emphasis on the mystery building as it does the impressive action. And beautifully, it does so with a powerful tone and atmosphere that's created here, one drenched in a pulpy and occasionally terrifying exploration of this iconic character and those that cross him. The Batman is bold and brilliant examination of a young Dark Knight. Darkness has consumed Gotham City in the form of a deadly serial killer. When a string of horrific murders targeting political figures leaves the law enforcement in the dark, it begins to bring a deep fear to those that may be next in line. The criminal deeds lead James Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright, and Batman, of course, played by Pattinson, to thrust themselves into the investigation. With each murder, the officers discover a series of riddles and clues that may hopefully bring them closer to a suspect. However, this disturbed individual is always a few steps ahead of the police, leaving them desperate for answers. Things get even more complicated when Batman convinces Selina Kyle, played by Kravitz, to use her connection to the dark underbelly of high society to uncover what secrets the powerful may be keeping. The Batman is a superhero tale far more in line with the gritty and darker elements of the popular comics that came before, and they are certainly an inspiration here. You may even notice the nod to a few 70s classics. Matt Reeves has an understanding and a love for these characters, which is very apparent. With a script written by Reeves and Peter Craig, the film takes an unexpected turn, considering the massive blockbuster exploits we've seen from Christopher Nolan, Tim Burton, and Zack Snyder. This modern tale is refreshingly dark, with elements that create an impressively creepy movie-going experience. Even with its extended runtime, the way it all unfolds is effortlessly satisfying to watch. As visually gorgeous and grim as this world is, you can't help but enjoy the experience of taking it all in, the sights that Reeves presents. It's not all dark. You may find some moments of humor just to lighten things up a tad. Now, speaking of this impressive new world, one of the most thrilling elements is the reality of this universe. Matt Reeves brings such realism into the mix. Even during the brutal moments of violence when Batman takes on a group of thugs or what have you, it feels at times frighteningly grounded in some semblance of reality. Pattinson's Bruce Wayne / Batman is conflicted, as he seeks vengeance against the criminal forces that plague his city. Yet his inclusion during investigations feels about as truthful as you could get in a film such as this. For many of the officers working with James Gordon, this creep in a bat suit only makes a joke of their work. It's yet another fascinating detail that brings honesty to the events in the film. Perhaps that's part of the appeal by making the story more in line with the Noirish detective story. And then there is Batman and Catwoman. Both Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz are electrifying. Mr. Pattinson brings a nuanced and tortured hero to the big screen. Even after he successfully fights off the baddies with the help of his batsuit, he always returns bruised and battered. The actor brings all the aspects of Wayne and his secret identity to life in perfect form. Plus, the little touches on how he differentiates from the Batman and Bruce Wayne makes a ton of sense. And while Miss Kravitz doesn't quite have the most technologically advanced catsuit, her physical prowess and performance make it easy to believe that she could do the kind of nine-life acrobatics that she does. When these two are on screen, it's easy to get lost in their equally fascinating character arcs. The beating heart of The Batman is a well-told tale of vengeance and the horrors that condemn those seeking it. And the collection of villains and suspects all add equally to this incredible feature. Colin Farrell is unrecognizable. His performance as the Penguin is perfection as he creates a full-fledged character without being too cartoonish. Peter Sarsgaard has a chance to shine as District Attorney Gil Colson. As well, John Turturro is especially slimy as Carmine Falcone. And then there is Paul Dano, who is as sensational as he is terrifying. I'm going to avoid revealing too much about the plot and avoid telling too much about his story, but I will say that the less said about the secrets behind these marvelous performances, the better. And on the heroic side, the casting of both Andy Serkis as Alfred and Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon, both are inspired choices. The two actors make for a natural fit with Pattinson. Matt Reeves' The Batman is one of the most original and twisted comic book adaptations ever made. For me, it's the best Batman thus far. And that says something considering some of the impressive past features like the masterful The Dark Knight. Even with a near 3-hour runtime, this gorgeously directed and atmospheric tale never wears out its welcome. From the impressive cast to the terrific script to the occasionally eerie score, this return to Gotham is a satisfying experience. Similarly, Reeves took an original route to tell this story, as did James Mangold with the excellent Logan in 2017. Both bring a level of reality to their prospective series of films, and both are two of the best superhero adventures ever to find their way onto the cinema. I highly recommend The Batman. It's an excellent feature, and I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
Bruce Wayne.
Sorry?
I wouldn't be bothering you here, but your people keep telling me you're unavailable. You know, you really could be doing more for this city. Your family has a history of philanthropy, but as far as I can tell, you're not doing anything.
Riddler is asking for you.
The killer left this for the Batman. Why is he writing to you?
You came. I've been trying to reach you.
Riddler's latest. It's all about the Waynes. If we don't stand up, no one will.
You got a lot of cats.
I have a thing about strays. The bat and the cat. It's got a nice ring.
You a new friend of yours?
I'm not so sure. I'm just here to unmask the truth about this cesspool we call a city. You're part of this too. Hey, stay still! How am I part of this? Oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were. Bruce Wayne. All these years, you lied to me, Alfred. We all have our scars, Bruce.
You're still away.
He's involved in this?
No, he's not involved.
How do you know? He's a vigilante!
Who are you under there? What are you hiding?
Selena, don't throw your life away.
Don't worry, honey. I got 9 of them.
It can be cruel, poetic, or blind, but when it's denied, it's through violence you may find
Justice. The answer's justice.
Come on, vengeance. Let's get into some trouble.
If you'd like to see more content on Joe Blow, click that link, check it all out. We got reviews, news, and interviews. Thanks for listening, guys.